Hey guys, been a while since I did a Publisher Rocket update, so let's do one for 2025. I'm going to do a full walkthrough of every single function in Publisher Rocket. Before we get started, there's an affiliate link if you haven't got your Publisher Rocket yet, but make sure you check the version on the bottom left-hand corner, and then you'll see Publisher Rocket updates. What you want to see is the version number is the latest, so the latest version as of July or August, early August is 2.0.95, and they tell you what the update is and the release date. Anyway, so that is the updates. Make sure you're on the correct version. That's the first thing to check. The homepage over here, keyword search, so you can navigate from the top bar. Okay, keyword search, competition analyzer, or you can navigate from the big icons in the middle. All right, it doesn't really matter. They bring you to the same thing. So, for example, if you click on keyword search on the top bar and go to home, you click on keyword search in the middle, it takes you to the same thing. Before we do any searches, there's tutorials. So if you want to check out Publisher Rocket's tutorials, they've got a whole bunch here. So there we go. That's available to you if you want to learn more. Now, before you run any searches of any kind, make sure you're on the right marketplace. So I'm gonna stick to US because for me that's the largest marketplace, and select your language and the default book format. I just keep it to books, but as you'll see, you can do different searches. So let's say keyword search, you got books, Kindle only or Audible only. So that's for the keyword search. Similar thing, for a competition analyzer, Kindle, Audible, or Asin, ISBN. Now, the only thing I would say is the Amazon ads thing is a little different. And we'll go through that later. But if you don't run ads yet, then don't worry about it. Or if you kind of want to look into it, but you're not running ads, that's okay too. I'm going to cover that. But I have like my own thing with Amazon ads, so I don't place too much emphasis, but I'm going to walk through it because it's important to know how to use Publisher Rocket to run your ads. If you want to do that, you don't have to. Reverse ASIN. So you have like a limit number of searches. Just be aware of that. So yeah, that is the home page. Let's get into the first tab, keyword search. We're going to use a fictitious book. I didn't write this one, by the way. James Clear. So Atomic Habits. I love this book, by the way. So we're going to use this as an example for all our Publisher Rocket examples today. So type your keyword in. So books. So for James Clear, maybe I would do like habit or something like that and see what comes up. Okay, so there's the keyword search. I would say you need to click on all these to see which one's relevant. So obviously Atomic Habits is ranking very, very well. And they've got a competitive score. If in doubt about any of these, what these mean, just hover over the question mark icon. So over here it says show the average pages at the top, and then you can see, just highlight these. Click on the little inspector button, and then you can see what the figures are for, say, that keyword. All right, now red competitive score. So just briefly, red is actually very competitive, and then you want to see green. So green is like a traffic light system. Green is a go, but as you'll see, like over here, although it's highly competitive, there's a lot of searches, right? So you have to kind of decide what you're willing to use for keywords. Obviously make sure you're compliant with KDP's guidance and rules, right? So like over here, there's competitive score habit tracker. Maybe that might be good. It's got an average number of pages of for a book of 97 pages, so that might be good. But it's got 50,000 competitors, so I'm not sure. Although it's got a low competition score, there's actually less than 100 searches per month estimated. This is estimated. These earnings, they're all estimated. The average price might be useful if you're in a low content space. You probably want to know that. If you're a regular book space, you probably want to know that as well. The average price and the number of competitors. That's huge. Anyway, basically look at the keywords on the left hand side. Okay, and see, which one would suit your book best. And then once you found that, so for example, maybe I'm in this niche, I would click on the inspector button and then get the information. Just give it a bit of time because sometimes it's got to pull in the information. Um, and then once I've got that data, you can export it, or if you want, if there's not that many, just write it in an Excel, um, spreadsheet or something, and then you can do your analysis. So that's the keyword search function. Okay, the next tab or the next icon is competition analyzer. So type your keyword in here, and then I usually just leave it at books because that's what I want to analyze. So in this case, I'm going to analyze the competition, and I know exactly what it's called, Atomic Habits. So it's going to take a bit of time, but hopefully it pulls up the book as our example file. And you can see it's telling you what it's doing, right? It's telling you real time what information it's pulling. So we should be there momentarily. So give it a bit of time because Publisher Rocket does have to pull information. It does have to search. And there we go. First one here, Atomic Habits, title, and you can see type, paperback, audible, audiobook, or book category, hardcover, for example, over here. This is obviously, you know, this is hardcover, but I don't know if I would do something like that, to be honest, because and also summary books, big thing, summary books. I would not be doing summary books myself. I think it's infringing on people's information. Anyway, I'm digressing. So if you do competition analyzer, you can check it out. If you click here, it'll open a tab to bring you to the book itself. Okay, and then you can see what the book is all about. Let's go back to Publisher Rocket. So you can see age is kind of important because if it's been around for a long time, number of days since it was published. So this is quite important because it establishes like how long a book has been there. If it's been there for like 90 days, it's less than, it's like 3 months. And this kind of stuff, like, I don't know, summary guide and workbook, you know I don't like Daily Summary. As the author, do you think Daily Summary is paying James Clear to use any of his intellectual property? Anyway, I digress. But yeah, so obviously there's the book. You can click to see the categories, and then you will see James Clear Atomic Habits book is only in two categories, right? So that's useful to know if you are trying to pick a category and you're looking at a book that's in a similar niche, right? So yeah, keywords in the title or subtitle. This is quite useful to know. It's probably not as relevant for fiction books, but it's very, very relevant for non-fiction and low content stuff, right? So this one you want to know. Number of pages, again, useful to know depending on what you're writing or what you're producing. So this is the competition analyzer. It gives you a breakdown of what your competitors are in. For example, the categories. It tells you whether competitors are using keywords in the title or subtitle. Tells you information about the book itself. So ABSR over here, Amazon bestseller rank, just shows you how, like, the lower the number the better. But basically it's kind of like music charts. I like to use that example. So number one is the best. Okay, so if you got a bestseller rank, a BSR of 1, then you are doing incredibly well. Um, but if you got like the bestseller rank of like millions, then you're not doing so well. Sometimes there's no bestseller rank at all if it's never sold. So that's useful information. The price, it's probably useful to know what your competitors are pricing at. So yeah, this is the competition analyzer tab. Moving on swiftly, we are going to the third one, category search. So if you click on the category search, type in the last 3 letters. So I'm just gonna use Atomic Habits and see what comes up and give it a bit of time. Okay, so it's obviously not filtering for that. So let's see if I do habits, because that's kind of it. Okay, so this is not it. We're obviously not looking at habitat. So let's have a look at James Clear's book over the tab, and this is where you got to do a bit of sleuthing, right? To see it's in self-help. So I would probably do self-help as an initial check. Self-help. Okay, so there we go. We've got lots of self-help stuff here. See if it's useful for you. Like this one's a ghost category, so I would not be, I would not be keen to use a ghost category. So, Publisher Rocket actually tells you, um, ghost categories are difficult for shoppers to find, okay, and books cannot rank or be a bestseller within them. So you're basically wasting a category search, category placement if you use a ghost category. Now, it helpfully tells you what the parent category is, personal transformation. So that is probably useful to know. So you want personal transformation. So over here, I'll probably do personal transformation, right, and have a look. There we go. Okay, so again, I would ignore ghost categories, but I would probably see if I can choose these categories, right? These are relevant categories. Anyway, so start typing in whatever you've got. So if you're in the fiction space, I'm writing a thriller, for example. I put type in thriller, right? If you're in the non-fiction space, like James Clear, maybe it's a motivational book, right? Then type in motivation, and then you'll see all the categories. Selectable, over here, you can place your book in selectable categories, but the ones that have none means Amazon is going to place it. You can't actually choose it, right? So that's my understanding. Now, sales to number one, it just shows you how many sales of your book you need to make in order to hit number one in that category. And sales to number 10, again, number of books per day that you need to sell to hit number 10 in that category. So let's have a look over here. It says publisher. This is the percent of books in the category that are from a significantly sized publisher. So these are the big dogs in the industry, right? Kindle Unlimited, this is the percent of books in the category that are enrolled in KU. So as you can see, motivation, the percent of books is like they're not enrolled in KU over here. And there's a very low percentage of people enrolled in KU. Now, if I just throw that back to thrillers, because you'll see that changes significantly when you switch to a fiction. So if you look at KU, on the fiction side, there's 57, 70% people are enrolled in KU, 90% here. I know that's Japanese foreign language, but you see the change from non-fiction to fiction. So it straight away tells you that fiction authors are more likely to be in KU than non-fiction. So click on Insights, Category Details, and it'll give you like these fancy details. And you can actually have a look at it if you want. Just bear in mind this is an audible category. So like it says audible over here, right? So if you're looking at books, you may not have insights. If you look at for this category, you may not have insights, but for other categories, you may. So you can click on the insight button and see what comes up, like the average rating, average age days, so how long a book's been published. It's important because you establish how kind of um, how solid you are in that category, if you like. And then you can even have a look at keywords that might be relevant to that category. So here we go, you've got a whole list that are relevant for this category, right? And you may want to use some of these. Make sure you're compliant with KDP's rules and guidance and all that. But yeah, so that is the category search function. Moving on swiftly, Amazon ads. Let's click on that now. You can save up to 2 projects. I'm going to start a new project. And as I said, we're going to use James Clear's book as an example. So this is his book. I'm just going to grab the actually, so that's the ISBN, that's the ISBN 13. If you want to get the ASIN, it's right here. Okay, it looks like this. It's just after the DP or GP. So Control C that or copy that, and then go back to Publisher Rocket, and then type in over here. So paste it, right, and then search. Now this obviously isn't my book. I'm just using it as an example, but it should find that book hopefully. Okay, so this let's say that's your book, and then you can type in your keywords. Okay, so let's say you got your book, you've entered it. I'm gonna put habit. I'm gonna put motivation. I don't know. I'm just making things up, right? Please don't do this. But it tells you a bit. Input the 7 keywords associated with your book. I don't need a dictionary, thank you. This helps Rocket align Amazon's projected relevance score. So relevancy of keywords is really important. For best results, keep your keyword phrases to 4 words or less, even if this is different from your KDP account. So yeah, 4 words or less is what they suggest. So I'm just gonna throw some small habits, daily routine, and let's see. Okay, let's just see what comes back. All right, which select which books are similar to yours. I would say maybe this one. Let's say um, they all look good. So if they all look good, you can select or unselect. And this one I definitely want selected, and this one probably not. This is probably not habit driven. This is habit driven. Mindset, not really. Maybe not. So I'm going to select 3 books that are similar. I'm going to save project and continue, and let Publisher Rocket do the heavy lifting for me. So it's doing its thing. It's detecting fresh books, filtering books. It's really kind of running through their algorithms, and hopefully we get some useful information from this. So let's see. Let's see what it turns out. Um, okay, it's preparing data. Should be out soon. Should be out soon. Give it a second, because it does need to pull information from Amazon, number one, and then it's got to kind of analyze it. So keyword targets, search terms related to your 7 Kindle keywords. So have a look, and it gives you a relevance score. The higher the better. Okay, and this is like it says this relevance score is built directly from Amazon data indicators to determine how closely we think Amazon associates a keyword with your book. In general, green relevance scores tend to have the lowest cost per click CPC for your book. Yellow is mid level, and red has the highest cost per click. So this is kind of related to how much you're going to pay. Anyway, I like to use these to see if there's any like books, keywords that are useful. Self-help habits, right? Charles Dickens would not be relevant for me. How to change your mind, maybe, I don't know, it depends. So yeah, I would add those. So if you tick this, it adds it to your keyword list. Okay, and then goes through the whole thing. Search terms linked to your category. I would look at this self-help. I've already got self-help, but yeah, let's add that. Resilience, maybe. Self-improvement, yes. Self-esteem, maybe. And then again, have a look at the green. The more green it is, the better. The more red it is, not so much. um so basically I build out a whole list of keywords, and then go back like later. I can export the list, and then I would later on do my own analysis of this. So book targets, have a look. This is always useful to see what other books um, Publisher Rocket churns out that they think is similar, or or should be looked at least, if you're looking at your Amazon ads. So you can add all these if you want, right? Because if you're running ads, you can literally like click all the asins, just add them all. Okay, so whenever you click something, it just adds it to the list, right? Again, click on all the titles. You can add all the titles here. So yeah, comparable authors. If you want to, you could add all these. I guess. I mean, add the asins and stuff like that. Like, I'm not going to go into too much detail. As I say, I've got my own process, but this is the Amazon ads function in Publisher Rocket. Okay, final tab or final function is the reverse asin lookup. This one is absolute gold. So I'm going to paste, and this is the asin for Atomic Habits. I just want to snoop on them. I just want to do a bit of spying to see they're using. What's James Clear using? Let's see what Mr. Clear is using. So over here, you'll see it's going to come up over here. So this is how many lookups you have remaining for this month. Okay, so you get 50 lookups a month. And lookups refresh at the start of each month. If you need more lookups, click here, right? And then it'll bring you to a page, right? Then you can contact them. If you're someone like an ads agency, then yes, you probably need a bit more searches, right? So it basically explains why it limits you to 50, right? And the reason is, it's a huge amount of work on the service. It's not cheap, right? And then this tool interacts with a monumental amount of data. So, basically you got to pay for it, right? Nothing's free. So they are paying for it. And then in turn, you then have your 50 lookups. So yeah, keywords this book has ranked for on Amazon. You will look at all these, and Rocket has flagged this keyword because Amazon recommends not to use this information to most items in the category like book. I wouldn't even bother doing something like book or paperback. It's just a waste of time. Like your book's already a book. It's already a it's already a book or paperback, right? Anyway, if you look at this composition score, you can analyze to see searches per month and average sale. I completely ignore most of these, but it just gives me a way to see what keywords um, this book might be using, right? So you can even click on this, see other keywords that may be good for this book, and then, Publisher Rocket will give you more information. If you scroll down here, you'll see there's like quite a few pages to go through. So click on the next page to see what other keywords they are using, like good habits, bad habits. That's a useful one. For this book, I might use that. Um, Bad habits, good habits. I probably wouldn't double down on that because you've already got good habits, bad habits, habits for business that might be useful. Anyway, this is basically the reverse Asin lookup. So as I said, there's a link in the description. If you haven't got a copy, you can grab your copy. This is an affiliate link, so I do get a small commission. But check out this video right here where I walk through my entire keyword process. Okay, so check out that video or check out this video that YouTube thinks is perfect for you. Subscribe to the channel. I'll see you there.